School of Management Studies, IGNOU presents an audiobook on the course Mmpc 006 Marketing Management for MBA program. Block 4 Sectoral Applications and Emerging Issues. Unit 15 Other Emerging Issues in Marketing. Part 2.
Rural marketing. Rural market in India. With about 65.5% of population living in the villages and generating nearly half of the national income, the rural market has a very significant and critical place in the Indian marketing environment. The huge potential of this rural market, along with the saturation in urban markets, has caught the interest of all the companies, big and small, to explore and exploit the growing demand for all product categories and services offerings being offered by the businesses. An overview and importance of rural marketing. The underlying reasons for the growing importance given to rural marketing and the need for a suitable framework of marketing strategies for the rural market are diverse in nature. Firstly, the fact that not only a huge proportion of the population is residing in the villages, but also their purchasing capacity is increasing. According to Indian Brand Equity Foundation, the rural FMCG market is expected to grow to $220 billion by 2025. The rural markets are witnessing higher rate of growth in the FMCG sector as compared to their urban counterpart. Major players in the category of FMCG like Hindustan Unilever Limited, Nestle, Britannia, ITC, Marico, etc. are targeting the rural market in a big way. Rural segment is also seen as a very lucrative segment by the electronics and smartphone companies thanks to the significant young population living in rural India. This segment has higher brand awareness, evolving aspirations, internet access and affordability. Secondly, the marketers have also realized that the characteristics and challenges of rural markets are very different from the urban markets. The needs, mindset and behavior of rural consumers is not like their urban counterparts. So in order to tap the huge rural potential, marketers need to create innovative and creative solutions appealing to this section of rural buyers. Rural consumers represent a very different and distinct socio-economic and lifestyle profile. The whole decision-making process adopted by a typical rural consumer, right from need identification, information gathering, evaluation of alternatives, and impact of reference groups to the final purchase is quite unique and different. Marketers still do not have an adequate pool of knowledge to understand all facets of rural consumers and therefore require having deeper insights into the buyer behavior. Nature of rural marketing transactions. Initially, rural marketing was synonymously used with agriculture marketing, but the spectrum of transactions and activities that come under rural marketing is much wider and deeper. Rural marketing involves marketing of rural agricultural products in urban markets. Agricultural producers include food grains and industrial inputs comprising of sugarcane, cotton and oil seeds, etc. Rural transactions also include the sale of agricultural inputs like fertilizers, pesticides, high-yield variety seeds, power tillers, threshers and harvesters, etc. in the villages. Transaction of non-agricultural products produced by village industries and cottage industries like soaps, handicrafts, handloom textiles, paintings and heritage crafts, etc. to the urban markets also come under rural marketing. Rural marketing also involves goods and services produced and created in the villages and consumed locally within the village. This include products like pottery, local carpentry, hairdressing and tailoring, etc. Today, rural marketing transactions include sale and consumption of products and services of various organized players across the category of consumables, that is, FMCGs, durables, and services. From transactional marketing, there is a move towards long-term commitment and a holistic marketing approach for the rural markets. Rural markets witnessed a higher growth rate in the consumables as well as durables as compared to their urban counterpart. Big players like HUL with their initiatives like Project Shakti and ITC with its eChaupal are working for community mobilization, innovating distribution channels, and brand activation. Organized retailing has also started. Some of the popular examples are Chaupal Sagar, Haryali Kisan Bazaar, etc. Companies also started CSR initiatives like ITC's Sunhera Kal. Challenges in rural marketing. Rural market undoubtedly is one of the most attractive destinations for all the brands, but it is not free from challenges. This market is not only large, but also geographically scattered. The rural market is quite complex and cannot be considered as a homogeneous segment because of the multiplicity of languages spoken, wide variations in the economic conditions, and socio-cultural norms prevalent there. The major challenges in tapping this rural market are: Number 1. Low per capita and seasonal income. A considerable proportion of rural population is dependent on agriculture for their livelihood. This makes their employment seasonal in nature. The agricultural situation determines the rural demand. Therefore, the demand is not stable or regular in view of the inconsistencies of the climate and weather conditions prevailing at a given point of time. The per capita income is also low in villages as compared with urban areas. Number 2. Distribution bottlenecks. Even today, still many rural areas are not properly connected by proper road and railway transport. It is nearly impossible to reach some far-off villages. These logistic challenges often lead to high distribution cost. Number 3. Communication problems. The communication infrastructure is still underdeveloped. There still exists low level of literacy, and the presence of many languages and dialects further complicates the whole communication process. Traditional media channels also are not that effective in reaching the wider rural audience. Number 4. Presence of fake and spurious brands. Due to high level of illiteracy and lack of brand awareness, the rural market is flooded with fake and spurious brands. And number 5. Differing buying behavior. Rural consumers are very different from their urban counterpart. They believe in collective decision making and are deeply influenced by culture, customs, and rituals. Many of the decisions and purchases still require social sanctions. A typical rural consumer faces different constraints and possesses different needs. Marketing challenges and rural marketing strategies. To enter and sustain in the rural market, companies and marketers have understood the need to rethink and redesign the whole marketing mix. The strategies designed for the urban markets will not yield the results in the rural scenario owing to huge economic, socio-cultural differences. The traditional marketing mix, including the 4 Ps, needs to be revisited and redesigned to match 4 Ps as with product acceptability, price affordability, promotion awareness, and place accessibility. The rephrased 4 Ps of marketing mix elements for rural markets and their specific needs and wants, and the proposed solutions and strategies is going to be discussed now. Product strategy. Challenge. While in the urban markets there is a demand for augmented and differentiated products, the rural market still operates at the basic level of product classification. The products are still at the introductory or early growth stage of PLC, that is, product life cycle. The rural consumers want a basic, durable, and no-frills product. They also lack proper exposure and awareness. The problem is further aggravated by the presence of fake and spurious products. Solution: product innovation as well as adaptation is required to meet the needs, habits, and lifestyle of the rural consumer. In case of FMCGs, there are a lot of product adaptations in terms of pack sizing, that is, small pack sizes and sachet, and variants. For example, Colgate toothpaste, Chick shampoo, Tiger biscuits, etc. came out with small packs and sachets for the rural market. Now let us try to understand some of the very interesting product innovations. Number 1. IFFCO Bazaar, the e-commerce portal of Indian Farmers Fertilizer Cooperative, that is IFFCO, is available in 12 Indian languages and provides free home delivery across India. Number 2. CEAT Speciality. A division of CEAT launched its new range of farm tires, Vardhan. Vardhan is designed to perform activities related to core farming. Number 3. LG introduced LG Sampurna Television, which had an on-screen display in regional language, acting on the marketing insight that rural households usually have larger family size and that the power cuts are very common in villages. LG came out with washing machines with higher load capacity and memory backup so that the washing function may resume from where it was interrupted by the power cut. Number 4. Micromax came up with Macromax XLI, which promised a 30-day battery backup. And number 5. Philips Free Power Radio was designed in such a way that it required 1-minute winding instead of a battery. Branding strategy. Rural population has a higher recall for colors, numbers, and symbols. Brand names incorporating these elements have a higher brand resonance and recall. Some of the examples of brands using these elements are colors like Lal Dant Manjan, Lal Battery, and Brook Bond Red Label. Numbers like Godrej number 1, 555, 502 Pataka, Brook Bond A1. Logos and symbols like Ghadi Detergent, Rath Vanaspati, Wagh Bakri, 3 Roses Tea, Kachua Chhap, Cycle Agarbatti, etc. Price strategy. Challenge. Majority of rural population has a seasonal nature of employment. The per capita income is generally low and many of the consumers are daily wagers. Solution. Affordable pricing is one of the most important consideration. Key point to remember is that the rural consumers want value for money products, not cheap products. Hence, fitting the consumer needs into an affordable price point is the priority, and then other features of product are designed accordingly. Pack sizes and price points are very critical for sales. Smaller pack sizes sold at lower price have more acceptance than larger packs. Promotion strategy. Challenge. Unlike the urban markets where the issue faced by companies is to find ways of differentiating their offerings and breaking the clutter, rural market poses different set of challenges like finding innovative ways to reach and communicate with the rural audience due to the lack of literacy and media reach in the rural market. The objective here is awareness creation and education. Solution. The rural promotion should include a lot of unconventional platforms like mandis, hats, melas, mills, primary health centers, pilgrim sites, etc. to reach the mass audience. Innovative promotional techniques like puppet shows, folk theatre, songs, demonstrations, posters, and wall paintings are often used to create awareness. Video and demonstration vans are also gaining popularity. They provide touch and feel experience to the rural audience. Radio jingles can be used to create awareness and brand recall. For example, LIC uses a lot of puppet shows to create awareness regarding life insurance. Colgate and Lifebuoy carry out a lot of camps in local schools to create awareness regarding hygiene. Play strategy. Challenge. Lack of proper infrastructure like roads, railways lead to high distribution cost, which along with non-availability of retail outlets poses a serious problem in entering the rural markets. Less than half the villages are connected through motorable all-weather roads. Solution. Apart from the conventional distribution channels, certain other options are also used, like number 1. Rural Marketing Vehicle, that is RMV. For establishing grassroots contact and provide touch and feel demonstrations, RMVs are used. Number 2. Melas and Hats. The importance of Hats, Melas and Mandis as distribution channels is attributed to their sheer numbers and footfalls. Around 47,000 Hats held throughout the country, mostly on a weekly basis. The number of Melas organized is 25,000 annually, whereas there are 7,600 Mandis operating in India, which provide one of the most used mediums of interaction with farmers. Green marketing, a brief introduction. By now we are familiar with the term green marketing. What comes to your mind when you hear this term? Some common associations that come to the mind are organic, eco-friendly, recyclable, or sustainable. There is a reason why the concept of green marketing is gaining so much importance. Recent years have witnessed a rising concern with regards to the problems of climate change, ecological imbalance, rising carbon footprints, depleting natural resources, and overuse of non-renewable resources. Today we are all discussing the issues of air pollution, that is poor air quality index, plastic in oceans, global warming, and food wastage. These environmental issues influence all human activities, including business. This is particularly true for marketing. Today, there is an increasing interest and demand by both consumers and companies to adopt more green and sustainable practices. The idea of green marketing emerged as the delayed response to minimize the harm that was done to our planet by the companies as well as society at large. Brands have understood that they need to change their missions and practices from revenue-driven approach to environmentally responsible business practices with long-term sustainability in mind. For example, ONGC, India's largest oil producer, is working to invent green crematoriums which will replace funeral pyres that use excess oxygen and emit smoke. Meaning and importance. In simple English, green marketing refers to selling products and services by featuring their ecological advantages. Green marketing is an important and popular component of sustainable marketing. It refers to systematic designing, developing, and promoting products and services in such a manner that they fulfill the needs of the consumers with respect to quantity, quality, and price without negative impact on the environment and natural resources. It promotes the adoption of an ideal marketing mix to maximize profits for the company while meeting the sustainability norms. The focus is to fulfill the consumer needs with no or minimum harm to the natural environment. Green marketing includes a broad spectrum of activities, including product redesigning and modification, changes to the production process, use of recycled packaging, etc. Factors enabling adoption of green marketing. Businesses, consumers, and society at large are of the opinion that a lot of damage has already been done to the planet. Having understood the extent of damage occurred in the last few years due to the limited resources available have been indiscriminately used to fulfill the limitless human wants. It's time now for firms to wake up and initiate alternate ways and means to develop innovative strategies to fulfill the needs of the consumers with minimum use of natural resources and little damage to the environment. There are several reasons which have led to the rise in adoption of green marketing practices by companies. They are: number 1, environmental concern. Rapid depletion and rising prices of natural resources is making it mandatory for the companies to think of sustainable solutions. Going green is an environmental responsible decision. It is believed that India is the third largest emitter of greenhouse gases. Reducing these greenhouse gases will reduce the carbon footprint and ultimately will help in reducing the global warming. Number 2, government pressure. Government agencies, regulatory bodies, and policy frameworks are also encouraging sustainability and green practices. Several regulations have been implemented by governments to keep a check on the hazardous waste produced by firms, and many environmental licenses are also issued to control the production of byproducts. Number 3, rising consumer awareness. There is a rising awareness and concern regarding the composition and sourcing of products, and the consumers are also eager to have socially responsible products and services that are harmless to the ecosystem. Number 4, economic advantages. Reduction in wastages will reduce operating cost of the business, and this will save more. Eco-friendly business equipment like use of natural lighting, water conservation will not only save cost but also improves the image of business in the eyes of the customers, potential investors, communities, and the government. Number 5, competitive advantage. Another significant importance of green marketing is that it helps firms to maintain competitive position in the market. By and large, firms notice competitors improving their natural practices. There are instances where competitive pressure has caused an entire industry to alter its practices and thus reduce its negative environmental impact. And number 6, innovation. Green marketing helps to design many products and services that are not only economically affordable but also satisfy the human needs. For example, SBI used eco and power-friendly equipment in its ATMs, which not only saved power cost but also earned them carbon credits. The 4 P's of green marketing mix. Number 1, product. The raw materials considered while developing a green product include the sourcing and ingredients used in making the products. For example, natural, organic, and eco-friendly material is used. Raw material is sourced from local suppliers. Emphasis is also given on adopting lean processes of production to reduce carbon footprints. A very good example is that of Nestle, which emphasizes on the sustainable use of natural and non-renewable resources. It works closely with the farmer communities and has engaged more than 1 lakh milk farmers. The company also uses a lot of recycled material in its packaging. Another example is of Godrej, which was the first brand to make soaps with chemicals which do not harm the marine environment. IndusInd Bank installed the country's first solar-powered ATM and initiated an eco-savvy move in the Indian banking sector. Number 2, price. Green products are usually more expensive than the traditional products freely available in the market. because of the ingredients that are used to make them. For example, organic food grown with natural fertilizers may be more expensive than those foods not utilizing natural fertilizers. This higher price acts as a hurdle in the mass acceptance for many green products. Companies need to reduce this price barrier. Also, there is a need to create the value of green products in the eyes of the consumer so that he doesn't mind paying a little extra to maintain a cleaner and greener environment. Number 3, place. In order to reduce the carbon footprints and unnecessary fuel consumption, sustainable distribution strategy uses a variety of efforts, like using alternative energy sources, arranging for transportation with minimum emissions, and optimizing distribution routes. Selling through internet as compared to a shop also saves business resources. Number 4, promotion. Sustainable promotion involves creating awareness amongst consumers regarding the environmental and social issues. Businesses and marketers should create awareness regarding the company's sustainable practices. Many consumers are still not aware of the environmental, social, and ethical initiatives undertaken by organizations. More and more public relations initiatives should be undertaken to create grassroots awareness. Problems associated with green marketing. There are many challenges in adopting green marketing. Number 1, new concept. Green marketing is relatively a new concept. Though buyers and sellers are getting more and more aware about this concept, but it still requires more education. There is a need to make the masses aware about the green marketing. Number 2, need for standardization. Not all marketing messages claiming to be green are actually green. There is no standardization currently available that could certify a product as authentic organic. Number 3, patience and perseverance. The green marketing is a movement that will require a lot of patience from the marketer as well as consumers. Marketers need to see green marketing as a long-term investment, and this investment will not provide immediate results. Number 4, investments. Green technologies require a lot of investment in research and development. Number 5, green myopia. In the zeal of producing a green product, the companies should not lose sight of the primary consumer need. There is a need to understand why a customer is purchasing a product and then inspire the consumer to switch to environment-friendly products. In other words, green marketing should focus on both making the product green and achieving customer satisfaction. Green marketing is much more than just marketing and earning profits. It is a way to give back to the nature, to help the environment in regenerating itself. There are still gap areas to fully understand green marketing and use green marketing on a day-to-day basis. It is extremely important that green marketing becomes the norm rather than an exception or just a fad.
We were listening to the audiobook by the School of Management Studies IGNOU for MBA program, course code Mmpc 006, Marketing Management. Course Coordinator Professor T.B. Vijay Kumar, School of Management Studies IGNOU. Voiceover by Harpreet Kaur. Edited by Savita. Program assisted by Tarannum Jahan and Jagbandhu Jana. Program produced by Dr. Manoj Kumar Singh. This program was brought to you by Electronic Media Production Center of Indira Gandhi National Open University.